Hey guys, how's it going? It's Bill. So I know I always talk about how game devs don't listen to their fans and so on and so forth, so I feel like I want to focus on a studio at a time maybe when I do talk about this to really paint a picture better. Today in particular, I was really interested in talking about how Activision or so on and so forth ruined Call of Duty. I feel like the community generally agrees that the downfall started somewhere around Call of Duty Ghosts just because of the fact that the game just really felt so bland. From here on out, it really just seemed to be the beginning of the end because it really seems like the devs just never listened to anything that the fan base was generally saying at the time. Activision would go on to release Advanced Warfare the next year, and people generally just really didn't like it and have any interest in the jetpack system and so on and so forth. Now the year after, they would go on to release Black Ops 3, which did have a much better reception because the zombies was actually well polished and made decently, and the multiplayer wasn't that bad even though it still kept the jetpacks and so on and so forth. But I feel like with these three games releasing, the hardcore fans that had been there from basically the mid 2000s and so on and so forth, they just knew that it wasn't going to get back to any reasonable point that we had first seen it as. And it's not like we wanted the game to stay the same obviously, but when they started venturing into the future for 3 straight games or 4 straight games, it really just cemented that Activision really wasn't listening to anything we had to say or anything that we actually wanted to see in a game. And personally today I want to focus on these 3 titles that came after Black Ops 2 just because I feel like Black Ops 2 was such a renaissance in the Call of Duty community and was such a big just step forward as a whole. So with Ghosts, Advanced Warfare, and Black Ops 3, even though they weren't inherently bad individually, they were all just mediocre, and they were mediocre because of the same things that I had previously mentioned, and it was that they didn't really listen to anything that fans wanted. Of course, don't get me wrong, fans never really sit there and pull into one direction too consistently, but I'm pretty sure no fan wanted any microtransactions, and no fans wanted them to remove the campaign. For some reason they still did, and I mean, it's not like we can be upset. Of course, I just, my answer would just be don't buy the games if you don't like them, but I just feel like the solution isn't that simple, Like, all 3 games are just underwhelming, even though they actually did have good things to offer. But what I will say is, I want to flip this on its head and say all of the extra modes were like incredible on all 3 of these games, and I know this is kind of like a complete turn, but when it comes to Extinction, Advanced Warfare Zombies, and Black Ops 3 Zombies, I really enjoyed all 3, and I also enjoyed Advanced Warfare Survival as well. Hindsight being what it is, I really feel like these extra modes in the games really aged the best because they were actually the variety. They were actually the part of the game that tried to be unique and tried to be different and tried to throw slight wrenches in the formula. And I feel like that's actually what made Call of Duty good. Like, let's just look at them simply. In Call of Duty Ghosts, they decided to just be like, fuck it, let's try aliens. I mean, that's pretty cool, I can't hate. The game mode wasn't half bad, I mean, it wasn't that polished at first, but I will say towards the last few DLC maps, it definitely improved and really started to gain an identity for itself. Advanced Warfare Zombies was pretty cool, even though it was a zombies ripoff, because it was fucking jetpack zombies. Like, it was still a decent little spin on it, and it was enough to keep us entertained for one game, And same thing with the Advanced Warfare Survival, just fucking jetpack survival, a slight little spin on it. Like, it's nothing too crazy. It's enough to keep you entertained for a few hours and you try out every map and hopefully you get a good amount of fun out of each map, And of course, the easier of all 3 to explain is Black Ops 3. I mean, it was zombies and it was on Xbox One or PS4, so you had a much better memory capacity, the maps were bigger, the graphics were beautiful, the zombies played a lot more crisply, and it really just felt a lot more like an interactive experience than the previous installations. And even though the other ones were good in different ways, this one was good in its own way, and it was able to be appreciated as its own little zombies game. So it really is a shame that the campaign and multiplayer of both of these games were just so underwhelming and just so unmemorable, because they really were supposed to be the main, focal point of the game while you sit there and play the special mode whenever you're bored or so on and so forth. And I feel like with the game sucking, it placed way too much pressure on these extra modes to do so much because, if you put these games in any of the other Call of Duties, they seem pretty impressive, they seem pretty cool. It's just that they were in such a shitty game that since they were the only somewhat bright spot, it seems like they were put under a microscope as a result, which, I mean, it's not like you can really blame them. It's like the star player on a good team when they lose, you still look at the star player. But personally, I really want to try to do those games some justice myself, and I want to try to make some videos about all 3 of those, extra modes. And I already put up the Extinction video, but I want to know if you guys want to see one on Advanced Warfare and Black Ops 3 Zombies, because personally, I found them very interesting and I found them very enjoyable, and I want to know if you guys would be interested, because I don't want to bore you guys, I still want to make some stuff that you guys enjoy. enjoy. So yeah, personally I really enjoyed the extra modes in these games, and I feel like there was a lot of pressure put on them by how shitty the core game was, because the core game definitely was shitty for all three of these games. The maps were too damn big on Ghosts, Advanced Warfare was too goddamn gimmicky, and Black Ops 3 had no real soul. And with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I always appreciate you guys tuning in, and I always appreciate you guys giving me the time of day. Thank you. You guys all take care. This has been Bill. Also, go Bills, baby. I know you heard that Stephon Diggs isn't leaving. That's right, baby. Go Bills.